Jai Hind, everyone. Welcome back to our second episode of interaction with Sathvika. Welcome back, Sathvika.
Thank you, Dr. Milan.
As you have already discussed your pre-medical life in our first episode, today would like to understand how is your current new journey going on. Are you ready for it?
Yes, Doctor.
Fine. At first, we would like to know when you didn't join this medical institute, what were your expectations whenever you will join this institute, what you will be like and what will be your real experience, or how would it be, and what is the current experience, and how is it different from your imagination?
Uh, okay, so before joining the medical college, I always wanted to join a college in a place, actually a metro city, where I could go around big malls and all. I wanted a very big campus. I wanted the campus to be filled with loads and loads of people, a big ground, a a hostel room should be big enough. But I remember on the first day when I came to the campus with my parents, my mother, I've seen the half of the campus was on, it was a new campus. So half of the campus was on construction and we were the second batch. We had only one senior batch and that too there were only 50 members. So including our batch, there were total of 100 members in the entire campus and it was a new campus. And even the ground was also on construction. And next was the hostel. When we entered the hostel, it was two members in single room. The room was obviously small to even walk here and there, or not,
Okay.
or very different from the one which we have at our homes. And then next, coming to the food, it was my first time in North India. So I did not have much expectation, but I at least thought that the food will be tasty. And it's completely true that by eating mess food, I shouldn't judge North India for food. But
Okay.
yeah, the mess food was very bland. It took time for me to adjust with the food. Literally 2-3 months. Yeah, eventually everybody has to go through the space. Everybody has to have the same mess food. So yeah, it was a lot of different experience from the one which I imagined.
Okay. Fine. So during your this new journey, were you scared, nervous? Was there any type of apprehension about the upcoming situation?
Yeah, obviously before coming here, that to Assam. Many of my relatives, not my parents, but many of my relatives even asked me, why did you go so far? Why did you choose a college that to northeast of India, which is not even a metro? They didn't. They were thinking all about my security, about the people around there, culture around there, which I will be able to adjust or not. It was initially, yeah, I was scared, but I knew that I could adapt to any environment easily. I had that inbuilt nature in me. So, with that confidence, and I always wanted to come out of Telangana, come out of my place and study somewhere else,
Okay.
see how the world actually works. So, yeah, after coming here, I, it took me, yeah, 1-2 months to adjust. And even now and then, there are many situations where I obviously get scared, but yeah, I try to hold on. I know even this shall pass too. The time will obviously change. It has to change one day or the other. So I have that confidence in me that I will hold on, and one or the other day, this time will pass.
For sure. Uh, as you know, every person, every individual, every doctor remembers his or her first day of his MBBS career. So, what is your experience? How was your first day, especially in anatomy dissection hall?
First day, I remember after going to the class, I've seen many students occupying the last benches. And
Okay.
I was a student who would sit at first bench. I've seen many of my friends, few of them who I've interacted with, were going and occupying the last bench. Somehow
Okay.
I occupied the first bench because from my childhood and even my high school, I would always sit in first bench. Yeah, so I sat in first bench. After attending 1, 2 lectures, I started feeling sleepy. I remember even getting scolded for sleeping in the class. And coming to the experience of dissection hall on first day, rather than the experience, the things which we hear with before going to the dissection hall about people fainting, even from our seniors when we heard that she has vomited, she has fainted, the smell is very intolerable. Even before they experience all these things, we generally imagine a certain way. We uh, draw a picture in our mind that this all will happen. But after going to the dissection hall, obviously the smell of formalin was well not too easy to take. But yeah, eventually after seeing the cadaver, I didn't feel it that exciting like everybody told that it is going to be scared, you'll vomit or you'll faint. I did not have that much. I had excitement to see what will happen when we cut the cadaver with the blood ooze out and all. But yeah, it was really good. It was different from my expectations, what I expected it will be. But I really enjoyed anatomy dissection throughout my first year MBBS. And I really learnt a lot through that dissection.
What is your daily routine? What do you do from when you rise from your bed till the time you go to bed, go back to your bed?
Uh, so our classes usually start at 8. So I usually wake up around 7:30, 7:30, 7 o'clock
Okay.
and rush to the class. Even though how much ever I try, I always reach 5 to 10 minutes late to the class. Then we have 2 hour theory classes, and then after that I usually go have breakfast because our breakfast time is till 10:30. So after that we have breakfast and then attend our clinical posting for 3 hours. Then after attending the clinical posting, we have 1 hour lunch break, and then we have a practical. Practical will be till 4 o'clock. We left after leaving the college after 4 o'clock. We usually come to our bed around 1 to 2 hours. I usually sleep for a while, or I just look into the phone or something like that. And then after that, we have a snacks break. So at that time, I usually go down. Sometimes I usually play badminton or some volleyball, or I exercise in my room. Or during the time of exams, I go to the library to study. And then yeah, after studying and after this all, around 9 to 10, we usually walk in the camp. Some of our friends, we usually walk in the campus for about 1 to 1.5 hours and then come back to room and sleep by around 11:30. It's a very simple routine.
Very unlike what I have heard from non-medics or general public that medicos keep studying round the clock and they are very studious. They don't even have time to even pee. So is it
It all depends upon how we manage the time, sir. I mean,
okay?
obviously during the exam hours, I mean, we don't spend much time passing and we study. But otherwise, the other time, I equally distribute my time to everything like sports, like speaking with everyone, not only studies. If I had to study that much, then I'll night, I'll take stay back night for 1 to 2 hours, study then, and then go for sleep.
And recently you said that you go on ground, play sports activities. So I want to know, like, do you get time and how do you manage all these things? Studying, patients, um, classes, then your own hobbies.
Uh, Initially, it was obviously difficult. Initially, after coming here, it takes time to plan, manage, to understand how to study, what not to study. Because initially, we come from a zone of MCQ. We have to study everything, each and every line, highlight each and every line. But after coming here, we eventually understand that how to prepare for a theory exam. It's more important to understand than knowing everything. And yeah, it's all about time management. And I surely required time in some sports or some any other activity other than studying to keep my mind fresh, at least not feel drained out. That I usually hate sitting in room for more than 2 3 hours. I cannot sit in my room, and if I stay in my room the whole day, it usually drains me out. Even if I do nothing in my room, I have to go down, play something, or at least roam around campus 2 3 times to have that peace in me. And once we get to know how to study, what to study, it's very easier to manage the time and take out time whenever possible, however possible, in class or going to library or after dinner, 1 to 2 hours.
That reminds me of one of your passion from what you have said in our previous episode. How are you maintaining that your passion?
Passion about and dance.
Dance. Yes, dance.
Eh, Dance. I mean, dance. I do it when I have something going on in my mind. When I want to take out my mind out of that thing, I usually dance around 5 to 10 minutes in my room. And as our college is very new, we usually don't have that many cultural fests going on. But yeah, whenever possible and I get an opportunity, I usually go and participate, choreographing, dancing. I usually go and participate in those events. And even during festivals, we have these dance nights, DJ nights, and also.
So still maintaining.
Yeah.
Good to hear that. So which subject or branch first caught your attention and made you want to learn it more?
It was for sure anatomy in the first year.
Is it?
From the dissection hall to the lecturer's ready sir, which we had in our anatomy, drew my attention towards anatomy. Anatomy was very interesting subject, I feel. And not only me, and I feel every MBBS student will find anatomy interesting. It is because when first time we've been exposed to each and every organ, each and every part of our body, we get to know, oh, our bones are like this, the nerves, the blood vessels, all those information. It is really new and it is really interesting also to study. And it's not very complicated. I mean, even if we read once or twice, even if we don't remember the things, it is easier to understand. So that makes the subject very interesting. Even those pictures.
Your journey till here. So have you had any mentors, teachers, professors, or for that matter, any such incident which have inspired you or guided you in any way?
Throughout my journey in my medical, I mean, there were few professors. Like in first year, I've already mentioned Reddy sir. The way he took our classes, the way he would explain everything by drawing it on board. That thing really drew my attention. It would really make the subject 2 to 3 times more interesting than usually just reading through our books or reading through our slides that were given to us. So in first year it was Reddy sir, and now in my final year, I've seen Kaushik sir and Nisha ma'am in pediatrics. Uh, the way they take the class, the way Kaushik sir usually presents a case, it's really interesting. It forces you to dig through your brain
Oh,
and think more to actually know what is the diagnosis. Even during our clinical postings, we had Nisha ma'am taking our clinical posting one. The way ma'am pushed us to go to, to examine the child, to examine the patient, even before telling the answer, to catch our mistakes and to tell us what is right, what is wrong, how to go through the process, how to investigate and all. So these all really made things very interesting and wanting to learn more.
okay. Looking back, what has been your happiest or most memorable moment so far in medical college?
Uh, Most happiest or memorable moment should be, it was during my birthday. First time when I celebrated my birthday here in the
Okay.
hostel. I remember all my friends, they had planned a surprise at 12 o'clock. That was really good. And at that time, few of my friends were in Sikkim. They were they were on a trip. So I remember them writing my name on the snow and sending a video clip of Happy Birthday Sathvika. That was also, I felt really, really good at that time. And on that day, it was also Holi. So next day we had this Holi. So that was one of my best day here. And I would never forget that day. And apart from that, yes, there are many multiple moments in each second, third, fourth, and fifth year. Come in the classroom, in the mess, in the hostel rooms, those late night talks, those dancing moments, those organizing freshers for juniors. Each and every moment has been special. Organizing the fest, participating in various competitions. So even before the time of exams, when all of us used to sit in mess, discuss and study for practical exams, everybody would share, everybody would discuss. That would make our process of studying also very easy before the practical exam. So these all are few moments which are very memorable and I cherish them throughout my life.
Fine. So now, after coming and joining to this medical profession, what do you think? What you used to think before for this profession, and what after joining this profession has changed your mindset?
Uh, I feel medical profession is way different than it looks from outside. Even before,
How?
I mean, even before coming here, yeah, I thought medical profession, like everyone tells, we have to study throughout the day. You only have books, books, books. Apart from books, you don't have any other social life. I mean, you cannot even take out times for your personal things. You have to study throughout for those 4 to 5 years, and even that you have to work continuously and earn money. Apart from that, there's nothing in medical life. But yes, once you get into the college and once you go through everything, it is then you actually realize that medical journey or medical education is more than that. MBBS is more than that. Yeah, studying is one of the huge and crucial part of it. But apart from that, interacting with the patients, prioritizing your social life or things you want to do apart from that is also a very important aspect of this. And even about studies, which they say after studying you have to go to the clinical practice. I think in MBBS you have to study throughout your lifetime. More than studying is the knowledge which you get and knowledge which you have to uh, keep on updating in your mind to actually know what is going on. That is one of the best part of medicine when you compare to the other jobs that are present. And
Fine.
even in the clinical practice, it is not about treating patients. There are many situations apart from treating patients which will encounter, like there might be some incidents, there might be some problem with your colleagues, there might be some problem going on in your personal life. But regardless of all that, keeping those aside and treating the patient and not letting them hamper your professional life is one of the biggest challenge I feel everybody faces in MBBS.
Okay. So, by and large, what are the biggest challenges you have been facing during your training, whether may it be like studies, emotions, or social life?
Uh, the challenges I faced was initially in the first year. I remember when everything was new and the syllabus was very vast. Even before a class test, which included 2, 3 chapters, I remember it took me, just a transition from that MCQ type of pattern and again coming and writing that theory exams. It really took me some time to understand what to read, what not to read. I obviously took help of my seniors. I've asked them how to go on. But that transition from inter to initially in the first year, what I had faced some difficulty during that time. But yeah, eventually I had got a clarity of how to proceed, how to study, what not to study, and how to write the answers. So that was one of the problem that I faced academics ways. Yeah, but obviously, so then in my second, third, and fourth year, I actually, even though the portion was more, I started making timetables and I had known how to go on with the process, so I usually made it out before the exam. And coming to the ethics and social life, it was all a really different world for me here. I mean, the kind of people I met here one was entirely new, especially for me. Uh,
How?
it, I mean, yeah, the way everybody is, the way they speak, I mean, their nature. Initially, I didn't take anything that serious, but yeah, eventually, as the years passed, second year, third year, getting to know how the people are was really it was like a shock for me, but yeah, I tried to adapt, I tried to accept, I tried to understand, and then move on with it.
Okay. So, did taking part in cultural activities, sports events, or any other extracurricular activities other than your studies or academics, did it help you in growing your personality?
Yeah, actually, it was really really helpful because while playing or while going for any cultural event, it is the way you interact with your seniors, with your juniors, which is very important in the medical life apart from these studies, because you get to hear the things that are going on in college. I mean, obviously, maintain a good interaction with your seniors. They guide you in many ways. They tell you where we are wrong, what is right, what is not right. So, participating in these sports events, guiding those juniors, telling those juniors what is right, what not to do. So, these have been one of the best ways to build up a good social life and build up a good communication with your seniors and juniors. Apart from that, I used to feel really fresh and very energized after playing these sports or participating in culture. It used to really excite me and keep me happy throughout the day.
While your clinical postings, you might be interacting with patients and examining them. So, what is the most mm, experience? What is that experience which has caught you or taught you something which you can never forget?
Uh, it was recently during our eighth semester examination in pediatrics, actually. I had received a case of a child. She had autism spectrum disorder from 2 years. So I had to examine that child. She was now around 10 to 11 years and she had seizures. I mean, she had multiple complaints. So I had to take history and examine the patient. So it was the time when I was taking history from the patient, history of that patient from their parents, from their mother and father both. Throughout the time of history, both the parents, they were very cooperative. They had told me everything pertaining to the child, each and every detail with the example, all the videos that showed me. And the child she was a special child. So she was not able to speak with anyone other than their parents. But I had seen that throughout this process of history and examination, and while I was interacting with the parents, their parents were really loving, really strong, I had to say. Both the mother and father, despite the child having these many problems, those parents were really strong and really loving and caring, even with the child, even while feeding her or talking to her, even while taking her somewhere. Looking at their strength was really shocking, and I was really inspired by the way they were. So I really think that is one of the big thing in pediatrics. But yeah, their strength was really commendable.
For parents? Okay. How did meeting and treating patients change your way of understanding kindness, pain, and humanity?
Obviously, throughout my course, throughout my fourth year and third year, there have been many patients which we have interacted with, taken history. Uh, during the, I mean, After speaking to these many patients, I've realized that it is important that the patient has to feel heard and understood. I mean, he at the end of the day, he has to get the feeling that uh, we heard him completely, we have understood what he wants to tell, and he should be satisfied. Apart from that, instead of and we have to empathize with the patient's feelings. This is one of the important thing I think I have understood or inculcated throughout the course of meeting different patients, because every patient has a different problem, and we as doctors know, even though the disease is not completely curable, we have to encourage the patient to such an extent that he can make it. He can live his way life best possible way he can. So I think that is one thing I have realized. Even though the disease is not treatable, the way we counsel the patient, the way we treat the patient, the way we interact with the patient is more important to empower him or to encourage him throughout his life. That is one thing.
In what ways has life in medical college, or let's say profession, changed the way you look at people, health, and as a society as a whole?
Uh, Medical profession and this medical journey for me has been, I mean, has brought a lot of changes in my life. I mean, the thought process I had, the few morals which I believed in were completely, I mean, questioned or changed once I met people here. I eventually realized that every person has their own way of seeing things and determining what is right and wrong, which what might be right for the other person might not be right for me, according to me. So it took me time in realizing that, creating many misunderstandings. Yeah, and I've also realized life is all about choices. The
Okay.
thing, it's about the choice which we make, and later the things, the situations which we are in, all depends upon those choices. And even coming to the ethics and the social life that I had, it's really important to not lose yourself throughout the journey. No matter what situation you encounter, how tough the situation is, it is really important to trust yourself and keep yourself happy no matter what situation we are in. Otherwise, it is really difficult to survive in an environment where we are away from our parents. Mostly, they don't have idea exactly what situations we are going through. So it's really important to know what makes you happy and keep it with yourself no matter what. So that is one thing I realized.
What do you feel, or what is your thought process when you come to know about various incidents across the country? Like you might have recently heard a doctor on duty was assaulted. What is your idea about it?
Uh, this is one of the, I feel this is one of the heinous crime that has been going on, assaulting doctors, because doctors themselves are already under very stress with their
Agree.
lifestyle. I mean, most of them, I think most of them in India usually don't have enough time to eat properly or rest at least for 5 to 10 minutes. And apart from that, if they face situations like this, it is too stressful, even though there might be many circumstances or many situations that has led to that situation. It is very important to keep our calm at that moment of time, because if we lose our control at that moment of time, things get too bad, I feel. And obviously, we alone cannot control the situation. We have to, even the society needs to understand from the other side about the line they should not cross, and the respect and the dignity a doctor should receive, because every the end goal is all for everyone is to save the patient. There's no doctor in the world who would never want to save his or her patient. And it's important that the society and the family must understand. Yeah, I know it is difficult because the situation for them, is difficult, but it is as difficult for them, even for doctors too. Because for the patient, he might be the first doctor, but for the doctor, there are many patients whom he is responsible for, whom he has to take care. So, in the process of attending every patient, such things can happen, but that both the parties have to maintain a balance and understand and try to coordinate as much as possible. Thanks.
As a medico, with the changing trends, would you like to enlighten us about the outfit of doctors while facing their patients, whether may it be in OPD or in ward?
Uh, with this question, I just remember an incident in my high school. I remember we had a social teacher. She was teaching us political science. So during that one time, a ma'am, she just enacted a play where she was entering the class with the goggles, with a key in her hand, which was rotating, and and she was not looking at the children. She was just looking at her phone, talking at her phone. So after this incident, she has asked few of the students about what they felt. Did they like how the ma'am entered the class, or her attitude towards the students? So I remember at that time, ma'am teaching me that there has to be a specific etiquettes which everybody has to follow to be respected. To respect yourself and even to respect the environment and the decorum which we are in. So it's very important to have a particular type of clothing. It not only maintains a good dignity and decorum, but it also attracts people towards you. It gives a good sense of aura and a good sense of discipline, making people to trust you somehow. So clothing is one such thing. Even without speaking, it gives a lot of effect to our words or to our actions. So I think a proper clothing etiquette has to be maintained in the hospital for both girls and boys, because that shows dignity and respect towards the profession and maintains a proper sense of professionalism. I
Fine. So, as you said that you are in final year, and within few days you will be completing your MBBS, and after appearing your final MBBS examination, and definitely with the grades or with the colors with which you are flying, definitely you will be successful and mm, complete your MBBS training or professional course. After that, you will be joining internship, so-called in Indian scenarios. There is 1 year complete compulsory rotating internship. So, what are your expectations from that internship period, or what you would like to take away from those internship?
uh, I am actually very excited for my internship because it is the it's the same experience like in the dissection hall. It's the for there it was a cadaver, but here it's the life patient which we are going to face. It's all, till now we had our theory that patient will present like this, patient will be like this. But it's the first time where we'll be actually interact. Even though in the clinical postings we interact with the patient, it is the first time where throughout the day we're going to stay in the ward single-handedly, and we are going to interact with the patient. We're going to perform many procedures which we have been just reading or looking at otherwise. So I think it is a very good and a best platform to learn and to retain that knowledge throughout the life. And at the point of internship, we have many senior residents, PGs, even all the lecturers, professors who will be there to mentor us, guide us, to tell us what is right, what is wrong.
We wish you are all the best from our all viewers. So here we end our second episode, and I request if you can be there for our third episode where we will be discussing about your future and future expectations, dreams, and how what is your plans to fulfill them.
Yes, sure.
Thank you. Jai Hind.